We provide support to vulnerable people, usually people who are homeless, people who have substance use issues, people who are alcohol dependent, people usually who have all three of these issues.
Where does the funding come from?
We have a broad funding base. Some of our funding comes from individuals. Some of our funding comes from grant-making trusts. We do not rely on funding from the statutory sector. We don't receive funding from government. We don't have an official position about the big society in this organisation because, well, the way I see it, the big society could be one of three things. It could be an attempt by government to disguise or somehow distract from the fact that it has cut funding to charities drastically. It could also be an attempt by the government to empower people. And thirdly, it could be a little bit of both. So our faith here in this organisation has never been placed in any initiatives by government to help people, but actually comes from our faith in people to help people. And that's not dissimilar to the ethos behind the big society. But this organisation was here long before the Conservative Party introduced the idea of the big society, as was Deptford Methodist Mission and all the organisations in Deptford Methodist Mission. We're all here before the big society. And I like to think that when the idea of the big society initiative has been replaced by whatever new initiative a new government will introduce, that I would like to hope that all the organisations that are working in this building will be working still. Because for us, it's not actually about where the money comes from, so much as the work is there and we'll find the money somewhere. I can't speak specifically about organisations, but I do know from hearsay and anecdotally that many organisations are worried that the money they do receive from local government will be cut back, and that because of that, the people who use the services will be affected. The case I would make for our organisation, if I had to approach the big society, would be that we do a job which could be seen to be the responsibility of government, be it local government or national government. And we do it because in many respects, local government or national government has not fulfilled its duty to help vulnerable people. Historically, that has always been the way, and I imagine will continue to be the way. But I would say to them, if we have to cease to operate because we do not have funding, then you're going to be faced with a much bigger problem than you have at the moment.